Hey guys, today I'm going to take you under the hood of my automated digital content system that I'm using to help me scale my small business. Here we go. Okay, so if you've ever run a small business before, kind of like I am here with Automatio, my AI automation agency, you know that at some point you realize you need to create content and put it out on the internet. Okay, you need, in order to scale, in order to grow, you have to create content, whether that's blog posts that you can post on your website to rank up better in Google SEO, or LinkedIn posts to help you reach new prospects, or tweets. You need to create content in order to link people back to your website, to your products, to your offers, to your quizzes, etc., etc. You need content. The problem is that content, A, takes a lot of time to make, and B, can cost a lot of money if you don't want to spend your own time. So what we really need here is an automated system that can do a lot of this heavy lifting for us. So over the last few days, I have built an automated system in make.com that looks something like this, that is going to shoulder about 90% of the workload for me, with a little bit of manual human review at the end. Now we're going to be using make.com to build this system. We're going to be using Airtable to serve as kind of the interface or the home base to run this system and review all this content. And we're also going to be using make.com to publish all this content to our website in Webflow. So we're going to be using Webflow today, and to LinkedIn on our LinkedIn company page, as well as our Twitter accounts. Okay. So let me take you under the hood here and kind of show you what I've done. So when I was thinking about what kind of system I wanted to build, and this could vary for you, this is how I built mine. I realized that I had three different sources or ways that I wanted to create content. Okay. And those three sources were, I wanted to be able to just generate blog posts if I give AI a post name, word count, a primary keyword for that blog post, secondary keywords for that blog post, and then some internal and external links. Okay, so I wanted to be able to generate content from just some assumptions like that I could just feed it. Okay. I also wanted to be able to create content from YouTube links. Okay, so whenever I post a new video on my YouTube channel, I want to be able to download that transcript automatically and create blog posts or LinkedIn posts or tweets from that YouTube transcript. And then thirdly, I wanted to be able to create content from just blog posts around the web. I'm calling these web clippings. So for example, if I'm on, the internet, like for example, this article right here, about 2025 automation trends. If I read this article and I want to create an article similar to it, I want to use this as my inspiration. And so what I could do is just copy and paste this text and use that as like a web clipping for my own content that I want to make. Okay, so those are my three sources of content. And I want to make three different types of content. I want to make blog posts that I can post on my website. I want to make LinkedIn posts that I can obviously post on LinkedIn. And then three, I want to create tweets or posts on X, as they say these days, as the youths are saying. Okay, so that's kind of the basis or the goal of what I wanted to create. And so what I've come up with here is a pretty simple Airtable system that can do this all for me. All right, so how does this work? Well, firstly, I want to show you how we can create a new blog post with a blog generator inspiration type. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is, and I'll walk you through the make.com scenario here as well, is I'm just going to say, okay, let's say I want to create a blog post and a LinkedIn post and a tweet that has something to do with AI automations are going to be key in 2025. Okay. And again, I want to just generate this blog. I want it to be, let's say 2,000 words. My primary keyword is going to be automations. Secondary keywords will be, make.com, AI, and marketing. I don't know, making stuff up. Okay. So those are the keywords I want to target for my article. My internal link, I'm just going to link to my website. And my external link, I'm going to link to make.com. Okay. And I'd probably put like my referral link here so that it can be included in the article. Other instructions, I can also give it, keep it engaging, something like that. Okay. So from there, all I then have to do to create a blog post here is to just hit generate. Okay. And once I generate here, I can come to my make.com scenario and show you what's going to happen. So what's going to happen here, and this is a pretty cool automation, is we're going to send our content requests down one of three paths, okay? And it's going to be based off of which content inspiration or inspiration type we have chosen. Okay, so for this example, we're going to be using our blog generator automation, and that just so happens to be our second path here in the middle. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to trip this filter. So if inspiration type equals blog generator, we're going to clear this filter, and we're going to go down the path. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to use this pretty advanced blog generator system right here that I've been using for a while, and I actually got this from Nick Sarayev. So I'll have his template linked down below so you can copy and paste this. It's pretty phenomenal. And essentially what this does from a high level, I don't want to get too bogged down, is what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these inputs, so our title, our primary keyword, our secondary keyword, and our links, and what we're going to do is we're going to actually create an outline for an award-winning article, all right? And it's just going to be an outline, all right? And it's going to look something like this. Okay, so it's not like a fully fledged article. It's just the outline with 7 or 8 sections. Okay, and then what we do through a set of kind of advanced make.com techniques is we're actually going to, it's pretty cool. We're actually going to attach an arrow. Let's see if I can find this for you. We're actually going to attach an arrow to each heading of our outline. And then we're going to actually iterate through, so this gray little tunnel section here, we're actually going to iterate through each section with an arrow next to it, all the way down our outline, and we're going to make iterative paragraphs for each of those sections, and then it's going to tie all together at the end when we aggregate it, okay? Now, every quarter of the time, or every 25% of the time, we're actually going to spit out one of those generations, and we're going to actually reformat it into bullet points. So we have a variety of formatting. So we have just normal looking paragraphs mixed in a quarter of the time with bullet point sections. So it looks like it's written by a human. Okay. And then essentially what we're going to do is we're going to aggregate all those sections together into one big blog post. I'm just going to clean it up one last time. And then we're going to create a Google Docs where we can actually review the article and make changes before we post. We're then going to generate our LinkedIn post, generate our tweet based off that same content. So essentially just summarize the blog post into a LinkedIn post and a tweet. And then we're going to update Airtable. Okay, so if I show you how this works now, I'm going to hit run, and we should come down this path. Okay, good. So it's now writing this article here. AI automations are going to be key in 2025. And if I zoom in here, you can actually see this running. So we've written our outline. We've done some formatting stuff. And then we're going to iterate through each section until our article is written. Okay, so you can see we went through one, so we actually tripped the bullet point path. Okay, and then we came back through, and we are now already on our 4th section here. So we're writing our 4th section right now, and now our 5th section. And so we're just going to iterate through and through and through until our outline is fully written out. And you can see this work right now. So it's a pretty cool scenario here. Again, thank you, Nick, for sharing this for us. Again, I'll link to his template down below so you can have this and you can use it whenever you need. Okay, so we're gonna let this run, and looks like we have, okay, cool. So we've now aggregated all of those together. We're now doing one last cleanup of that blog post just to make sure everything, sometimes when you aggregate sections together, it gets a little funky. So I just like to do one last OpenAI module to just kind of make everything smooth and seamless. So that's going to write the final version of our article. We're then going to convert it to HTML and then create our Google Doc, write our LinkedIn posts and our tweet. Okay, so that's done now. So I'm going to come back to Airtable, and we can see now we have a blog post, a LinkedIn post, and a tweet, all deriven or all, made from our inspiration here. Okay. And so now I need to review all of these. Okay. We're not going to publish any of these live until I review them. And so if I click on this Google Docs link, you can see I've actually got my article right here. Okay. So here's our actual article. I can format this a little bit just to make it look a little better. All right. And so just come here, add some spacing, add space after paragraph. And I can now read through my article and see how it looks. And just from a high level, it looks really, really good. All right. So the idea now is I review here. If I want to add anything or change anything, I do so in this Google Doc. And then, we're good to go. You can see we've got our external link here and some good stuff like that. Okay. So that looks good. Then I can look at my actual LinkedIn post and see how this looks. All right. And so it looks pretty good. I'm going to remove some of these asterisks here. And so I can clean this up and review this before I post. I can tweak and add and do whatever I need. Okay. So there's my LinkedIn post. And then here's my tweet. And sometimes my tweets are a little too long. This one might be okay, but I'm just going to delete this just to show you that it works. All right. And so there we go. So now we have basically by just typing in word count, a title, and some keywords, I've got 3 pieces of content, a fully fledged, beautiful article I can post on my website, and we're in pretty good shape. Okay. Now, the other 2 paths are very similar. I won't spend too much time on these, but our top path is for whenever we have a web clippings, like I showed you before. So if I wanted a new article, and we can literally just call it this, I would find a cool article online. I'd come here. I would do a web clipping. And then in my content inspiration field, I would literally just copy this text. Just like this. And this is a pretty long article, actually. But you get the point. So I'll copy this. And I'll come back to Airtable and I'll paste it in. And so then when I hit generate, we're again going to make a blog post, a LinkedIn post, and a tweet based off that text right there. Okay. And that, that automation up here is pretty simple. It's the same thing. We're going to write the blog post based off that inspiration. Okay. So you can see I'm feeding in that field here to my OpenAI module right here. And I'm going to write my LinkedIn post and my tweet as well. And we're again going to make a Google Doc and then update Airtable. Okay. And then lastly, our third inspiration piece, and this one's pretty cool. I'll actually show you how this one works live so you can see it, is let's say I wanted instead to go to my YouTube page and my last video, let's do this one. Let's say I wanted to turn this video into a blog post, a LinkedIn post, and a tweet so I can share it automatically. I'm just going to go grab the link. I'm going to set this to YouTube link, and then I'm just going to paste in my YouTube link right here, and then click generate. And now we can run this. You can see now we're going to trip our third path. And what we're doing here is very similar. Now, the only difference is at the very beginning here, we're going to use something called Apify to actually pull the transcript of this YouTube video. Now, I've got video on how to do this. I'll link up above. But essentially what you're doing here is you're using a bot or a scraper bot in Apify, and you're actually going to use that to go link to your YouTube video, pull the transcript, retrieve the transcript, and then we can actually pull it in here with our second Apify module, and then use that transcript to write our blog post, create our blog post article, and then create our LinkedIn in our tweets. Okay. And so it's a very similar process. We just have to use Apify to actually go get our YouTube transcript. And again, I'll have that linked up above. Okay, so you can see we just got the transcript. We're now writing our blog post from that transcript. And then we're going to go update our Airtable database once all of these pieces of content are created. Okay, so that looks good. We'll come back to Airtable. And you can see now we've got our blog post, our LinkedIn post, and our tweet. Okay, perfect. So we can go check out our blog post here. Okay, so this looks great. Again, we could come into Google Docs here and edit this and tweak it however we wanted. Okay, so that's that human element that we still want to keep in these automated processes. And then we also have our LinkedIn post, which we can see right here. Okay, so this looks good. Again, we could reformat this, add things, add links, stuff like that if we wanted to, but that looks pretty good. And then our tweet. Okay. Looks like our tweet is a little too long. So let's just get rid of this. And we'll just see if this works. Okay, we'll see if that works. I don't know if it will. I'll make it a little shorter. Okay. All right, so that's good. So again, high level, this is our content generation flow. We're either going to create a blog post, a LinkedIn post, and a tweet from an article we find online, or we're going to create it just from some input fields that we give it, a post title, internal, external links, keywords, etc. Or we're going to actually generate our post, our LinkedIn post, and our tweet from our YouTube video transcripts. Okay, I know we're kind of keeping this high level today just because there's so much kind of technical stuff here. This video would go on for 2 hours. But if you have any questions or you want to build a system like this for your own company, you think you could benefit from something like this, hit me up down below at automatio.io or my email, alex@automatio.io. And I'd be glad to connect with you, maybe hop on a quick call and talk about how we can help each other out. Anyways, thank you so much. Let's get back to the video. Now in Airtable, again, we review all of our content. And when it's good to go, what we're going to do is just hit publish, and hit publish, okay? And once we do that, we can actually come back into make.com and go to our second scenario where we're actually going to post all this content automatically, okay? And so again, what we're going to do is we're going to search Airtable for any publish tags here. And when it finds them, it's going to either route them to Webflow, where we're going to post our blog posts, or to LinkedIn, where we're going to post our LinkedIn posts, or to Twitter, where we're going to post our Twitter posts, or our tweets, or our X posts, or whatever we want to call it. Okay, so let me walk you through what we're doing here for Webflow, because that's the tricky one. So what we're doing is we're actually going to download the Google Doc, okay, that we have here. Okay, so these Google Docs right here, this is why it's important we made these Google Docs. These Google Docs, we're actually going to convert into binary, okay? And so that's what we're doing right here. We're downloading this document, and we're going to create it, or we're going to turn it into binary or HTML. All right? Then we're going to do a bunch of weird formatting where we're going to create that, we're going to turn that binary into a string. We're going to turn it into markdown formatting. And then we're going to do a bunch of weird stuff where we get rid of a lot of weird CSS that we don't need anymore. I'll show you all this in a second. Then we convert it back into HTML, where we then remove some /ends. And then we actually post to Webflow. Okay, so I'm going to run this. And okay, so our blog post, we downloaded from Google Docs. We did a bunch of formatting. And then we're writing a bunch of kind of summaries. I'll show you why we're doing this in a second. And then we're going to actually create an item in Webflow. Okay. So we created an item in Webflow. We then posted to LinkedIn and we posted to Twitter. Okay. So before we go on, I just want to show you kind of what this all looks like. So when we are posting to Webflow, we have to do all this weird formatting because the Webflow API, when we're creating new CMS items, it gets super, super weird. Okay. It gets so odd when you're adding rich text. Okay. Because you lose a lot of the formatting if you don't do this setup. And so what we do is we actually convert our Google Doc or our reviewed, finalized Google Doc right here. We convert it to binary. Okay. And then we convert that binary into a string. All right. And then we convert that string into markdown format. Okay. And so we can see what this looks like. We get a bunch of weird stuff here. This weird formatting, which we don't need. And then we get our actual article here in Markdown, which looks cleaner, okay? So there's our actual article. And so what we do is we actually have to get rid of all this weird formatting because we don't need that. It like ruins our CSS, our style. And so what we do is we essentially just split at the first appearance of this bracket and then 2 spaces. Okay. And so that's what we do here. So we just are splitting at new line, and then we get the first section of that. Okay. And then once we do that, we can see what that looks like. So you can see this is just now our clean blog post in Markdown. Okay, so that looks good. Got rid of all that weird formatting. And we convert it back to HTML, right? And then we have to do something weird with this module here, where we get rid of /n and we replace it with an empty string because it messes up our lists. Okay, this is very complex. I'm not going to go into detail here. And then we can finally feed that into, right here, our rich text field in our blog post. Okay. So a lot of formatting just to get our blog post to look like this, nice and formatted. Okay. Now, there's a weird thing in Webflow. If you see this, these are all lists right here, or bullet points, all these empty spaces, and they won't show up for some reason in Webflow until you publish it. And then once you publish it, it's fine. So you don't actually have to do anything. This is okay. But just something to call out there for you. Now, a couple other things I'm doing here is in Webflow, we have a bunch of, at least this is how my template is set up. You might not need to do this, but I have a bunch of mandatory descriptions that I have to include in order to post or create a new CMS item. And these are all of varying lengths. So one is 100 characters, one is 80 characters, and one is 60 characters. Okay, and so that's essentially what I'm creating here with these 3 OpenAI modules. I'm just summarizing my article and putting something in those fields. And then last but not least, I need to give my article pictures. Okay, so I need a featured image, I need a thumbnail image, and then I need like a background image, and then like a cool like front image. Okay, so that's, again, this is just how my template is set up. So I'll show you what I'm doing there. I've uploaded 2 pictures that I'm going to use every time. So my background and my kind of icon, I've uploaded to ibb.co to host my picture for free, and attached that image URL here with the image extension, very importantly. I did the same thing here for my my background. And then for these 2 images here, so my 2 thumbnails, right now I am randomly generating those pictures from Picsum. And so it's kind of cool. If you use Picsum, I can show you this. You can actually randomly generate pictures just like this. So it's pretty cool. And there's just a bunch of them. And so what you can do is in make.com, you can just do https pixum.photos / then you give it the size of the picture you want. Okay, so I want a 1024 by 512, and then .jpeg, and it'll literally just pull in a random picture for me to use for free, right? And so those are these 2 pictures here, okay? And so now the idea is, okay, I've got my title, I've got my pictures, I've got my actual rich text article here, and I've got all my summaries. Now what I can do is I can tweak this, I can make sure this looks good, I can add images into my rich text, I can do whatever I want here before I then publish this. Okay, and then once I publish this, then it looks like I created a couple extras here. So I'll delete these. But once I publish, then I can actually come to my website and we can see what that article looks like on my blog. Okay, and again, this is, other than that last step, this is all automated. Okay, so here's the article. You can see I've got my randomly generated picture, and everything is formatted nicely right here. Okay, so this is matching our theme. Okay, and again, I can add pictures here and stuff like that, but 90% of this is all automated. All right, so that's what's going on here when we're posting to Webflow. LinkedIn and Twitter is much more simple, where essentially we're just posting on LinkedIn and Twitter our 2 fields right back here, which we reviewed earlier. Okay, and so I'll go to LinkedIn. I'll show you what this looks like. So I'll refresh, and we should see our new post right here. Perfect. So we posted this 5 minutes ago. Looks good. Okay. Now I'm going to delete this because I don't want this to be live on my, my LinkedIn because I haven't really reviewed it yet. But you can see it's all good to go there. And then I'll go to Twitter and I'll refresh, and we should see that tweet pop up as well. Okay, cool. So that's there as well. Again, with links, and we actually have a nice link here that we can click on. And so that's it, guys. So with these 2 scenarios, with our content generation scenario and then our automated posting scenario, we are able to automate 90% probably of our content generation and also the time it takes to post these to all of our socials. Again, we do all of this right here in Airtable basically for nothing. All we have to do is come up with a title. If we're making a blog generator, we add a couple more input fields. If we're doing a web clipper, then we just go find a blog post and paste it in here. Or if we're doing a YouTube video, we just paste in that link here. And then we review, make tweaks, make subtle changes, and then just change this to publish. And then we're good to go. So this is how I'm going to help scale my small business with this digital content system. So if you guys like this video, go down and smash that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing. That would be awesome. If you have any questions, get down in the comments and let me know. I know there's a lot of kind of technical stuff that we kind of glossed over for the sake of time, but I'll be happy to help you if you have any questions. I'll also put both of these templates down in the description below so you can have them if you want to download them and upload them into make.com. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate all your support, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.